Today we will continue with the chapter sector. Today we are going to discuss about the division of the sector on the basis of the workers are employed. It is divided into the two, that is organized sector and unorganized sector. We'll discuss about the organized sector. The organized sector covers those enterprises where the terms of employment are regular and the people have assured work. Follow rules and regulation of Factory Acts, Minimum Wages Act, Gratuity Acts. Employees register themselves with the government. Security of the work is there. Work for the fixed number of the hours. If work more, paid overtime. Get benefit like paid leaves, payment during the holidays, provident fund, gratuity. Get medical facilities, drinking water, save working hour. So this is a best form of the sector where the employees are worked. It is quite opposite to the organized sector because it is outside the control of the government. There is no fixed rules and regulations. There is no security of the service. There is no paid leaves, no provision for the provident funds, gratuity or pension. They are very low paid. Even their job is not secure. They may be asked to leave the job any time. Many of the workers actually employed in a own doing small jobs. So we have found this, the unorganized sector is very messy type of a sector where the workers don't get any kind of the leaves. If they are sick, even then their owners is not going to pay them. They are not getting the medical facilities. They are not getting the overtime also. During the time of the festival, they do the hard work, overtime, even then their owners don't pay any extra to them. So unorganized sector is very messy type of the sector. It's very important to discuss more about the unorganized sector and how can we rectify the problem of this sector. In order to create more employment opportunities and also to assure the better condition to the worker, the central government of India made a law in 2005. It is called Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guaranteed Act 2005. According to this act, 100 days of employment in a year has been assured by the government. Those persons who are able and are in need of a work, they will get the job. If the government fail to provide 100 days of the employment, it will be given unemployment allowance. Such type of the work which will increase the production, especially from the land given preference under this act. How to protect the unorganized sector? It is divided into the three conditions: rural areas, urban areas and the SC/ST. First, we discuss about the rural area. Workers working in the unorganized sector in the rural area, they are generally the landless agricultural laborers, small and marginal farmers, and different artisans. They constitute with the 80% of the rural households in India. Can be supported by adequate facility for the timely deliveries of the seeds, agricultural inputs, credit, storage facilities and marketing outlets. Now we discuss about the urban area. Workers in the urban area, like the workers in the small scale industries, casual workers in the construction, trade, transports, should be provided government help for the procuring the raw material and marketing of their outputs. Casual workers should also be given full protection against exploitation of rich landlords and the factory workers. Next, we discuss about the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. The workers belonging to the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes and backward communities work in a large number in the unorganized sector. They had not only to suffer from the economic exploitation but also from the social discrimination. Many a time they are not allowed to draw water from the well and sometimes they are not allowed to dine in the hotel and the same time they are denied entry in the public places. For the full development of their personalities and the better development, all the injustice done to them must be removed so that they can lead a life of the respect and can contribute to the national development. Next, the division of sector on the basis of ownership are categorized in four: public sector, private sector, cooperative sector, and a joint sector. Public sector is usually comprised of organizations that are owned and operated by the government and exist to provide service for its citizens. Government own most of the assets and provide all the services. For example, railways, post office. It is meant for the social benefit of the public. Government raise money through the taxes and other way to meet expenses on the service rendered by it. Government provides subsidies and bear part of the cost to support the industries. Government must spend on provision of health and education facilities also. Private sector is the part of country's economic system that is run by individual and companies rather than the government. Ownership of assets and delivery of service is in the hand of the private individual. Example, Tata Iron and Steel Company or Reliance Industries. It is guided by motive to earn profit. To get service, we have to pay money. Is unable to provide several things needed by the people at the reasonable rates. Cooperative sector, an autonomous association of a person united voluntarily to meet their common economic, social, and cultural needs and aspiration through a jointly owned and democratically controlled enterprises. It's contained example like the Sachi milk flood in Madhya Pradesh, Mother's Dairy in Delhi, where the small producers they give their products to the government and as a whole the government provide them a big platform. Fourth is joint sector. Joint sector consists of businesses undertaking wherein the ownership, control and manage are shared jointly by the government, the private entrepreneurs and the public at a large. For example, Madras refineries presently 17.3% total productive capital investment is done in this sector. Now we discuss about the importance of the public sector. Under this, we are going to discuss a few points on it. It plays a great part in the economic development of the country like India. The public sector provides many essential things at a quite reasonable cost, which the private sectors cannot provide. The public sector can set up a heavy industries which require a lot of money, but private sector cannot do so. The public sector has the benefit of the people above everything because its purpose is not to earn money but to benefit the people at all cost. The public sector is mainly held by the government, which is so often bears some of the cost for the benefit of the public, especially for the poor people. People are given wheat, kerosene, etc. at the lower price than they buy from the market. The public sector, mainly held and controlled by the government, provides health and educational facilities free of cost or at the very nominal price. Examples are the railways, post office, steel plant, oil refineries. From the above accounts, it's become quite clear that the public sector contributes to the economic development of the nation, and that is why it is necessary to have the public sector. All the public sector enterprises greatly contribute to the economic development of the nation.